Hello my beautiful friends, it's Amanda here and today we're talking about a new collection from MAC. This one's called Mirage Noir. By the time this video goes up, the collection will be available both online and in stores. We have a lot to talk about. I'm going to be doing demos, swatches, and giving you all the information, so let's jump straight into these products. First, let's talk about the face and body foundations in this collection. There are two different shades, light pearl and medium deep pearl. They're packaged in the classic face and body packaging with the squeezy plastic tube and a screw-on cap, but these do have special packaging, so the lids are this beautiful, pearly, shifting, iridescent color. Each bottle contains 15 milliliters or 1.7 fluid ounces, and these are retail priced at $30 each. Today, I just used this on my body and not on my face. I used the shade Light Pearl. I just used a brush to apply it to the tops of my shoulders and my collarbone. It didn't give me a ton of tint, and I think it's hard to see in the video footage, but it just left behind this sparkly sheen. It kind of reminds me of my teenage days when body glitter was really in, so I think these will be really fun for the summertime. I just want to quickly mention that there is a brush in this collection. I did not pick up the brush. It's the 140, which is one of my all-time favorite brushes. It's part of their permanent line, so I have just the regular one with the black handle. I definitely recommend it, and this one is retail priced at $42, so if you don't already have this brush, then I definitely recommend picking it up, and it would be fun to get it in the special packaging. It looks super pretty. There are 4 bronzers in the Mirage Noir collection. Kind of makes sense to do so many bronzers since it is summertime. 2 of the bronzers are matte, and then 2 are the Extra Dimension powder formula. I have both of the Extra Dimension bronzers, but I don't have either one of the matte ones. So I'm just going to show you a picture of the 2 matte bronzers. They're $28 each, and it does come in 2 shades. There's Biana Bronze, I hope I'm saying that correctly. And I do recognize this one from last year's summer collection, so I know that this particular bronzer was released in the Fruity Juicy collection. It's described as a medium deep neutral matte bronzer. On the MAC website, the other shade looks deeper. It's just called matte bronze. The MAC website describes the color as bare shouldered bronze. I have no idea what that means, but this does look like the deepest bronzer option in this collection. The Extra Dimension bronzers are $34 each, and I do have both of them, although unfortunately one of mine got broken in transit. No big deal, I can still use it. If these shades sound familiar to you, that's because these are 2 bronzers that have been brought out in several other limited edition collections. Both shades are very warm toned. One might describe them as orangey bronzers. They'll give you a very real sun-kissed look. Delphic is the deeper of the 2. I know for sure that Delphic came out with the Alluring Aquatic collection. It was also a part of Vibe Tribe and Fruity Juicy. This is just a very staple summer bronzer for MAC. The shade called Golden Rinse is slightly rosier toned, and it's also a bit lighter than Delphic. Golden Rinse was a part of Wash and Dry as well as Vibe Tribe, so another one that we've seen in other limited edition collections. Back again for summer this year. I really like this Extra Dimension formula. It looks so beautiful on the skin. It has a bit more of a sheen to it, but it's not shimmery at all. It just gives you that radiance, that natural glow. I love this for my dry skin, and even with the orangier tones, I think it looks very natural on the skin. And these bronzers work well with the brush that they released, the 140 brush. So I love that they brought so many bronzers out alongside that brush because they are definitely a match made in heaven. Now we're going to talk about the real star of the show. This is the Mother of Pearl Matte Face Powder. When I think of MAC limited edition collections, this is exactly the kind of showpiece that comes straight to my mind. It's printed beautifully. It has this cool, groovy, swirly pattern. I'm definitely a MAC collector, and this is the kind of piece that's just gonna stand out in my collection. This one's also priced at $34. I used the more lilac portions of the powder and I applied that as my blush today. I love that it's bright, but it's not so in your your face bright. It feels like spring. It still feels wearable. It's not so crazy that you're like, oh my gosh, I'm wearing a bright purple blush. Of course, you could build this up to be a lot more intense than I did, but I was just going for a little subtle blush and I really love the way that it looks on my cheeks. I know sometimes people complain or are confounded by how to actually use a powder like this because all the colors are just sort of swirled in there together, but I used a medium-sized tapered brush and I found it very easy to just get the blush shades. I think the bronzer or the highlighter would be more of a challenge, but I also think that a powder like this is really fun to just sort of swirl all around and then just use it as an all-over cheek color. But as long as you're not using a gigantic brush, I do think this powder is decently easy to use, especially the blush portion. And this is the only blush type product that came out in this collection. Let's talk lips now. There are 10 lip products in this collection and I have 9 of them, so I'm only missing one of the lipsticks. There's a pale pinky nude in a cream sheen finish called Nothing to Wear. Then we have Twig, which is part of the permanent collection. This is one of my all-time favorite MAC lipsticks, and now you can get it in this special packaging. This is a satin finish. It's a medium rosy brown. It's such a beautiful shade, and the satin finishes are my favorites from MAC. Another one that you might recognize is Goodbye Kiss. This is a bright pink in an amplified finish. This shade was previously released as part of the 2015 holiday collection called Enchanted Eve. The last shade is called Beechnut. This is a true purple in a matte finish. I didn't think I was gonna like this one, but I actually think it's pretty fun. I wanted to show you some live swatches so that you can see how these shades actually apply instead of just seeing the lip swatches. And I also wanted you to be able to see all the shades next to each other so that you can really compare them. There are also 5 lip glass shades, and it does seem like these are sort of meant to coordinate with the lipstick colors. They're not exact matches, they don't have the same names, but it seems like they are kind of adjacent shades, in my opinion. All of these lip glosses are brand new shades, and they're all priced at $17.50 each. There's a very glittery white iridescent shade called Oysterized. This is the glitteriest of the 5 shades. They all have a bit of sheen to them, but Oysterized has a lot of glitter. Then we have Strip and Dip. This is such a cool, metallic, warm, bronzy shade. I feel like this would look so beautiful on every skin tone. Then we have Soft Shell. This is a brownish taupe. This has a bit of sparkle to it, but again, it just comes off looking very metallic on the lips. Then a bright pink called Treasure Beach. This one doesn't have as much glitter in it, but it definitely has a bluish sheen to it, almost like a shifting iridescence. And lastly, Midnight Dip, which is a deep shimmering purple. This one I had a little bit of trouble with because it seemed that the purple pigment sort of settled into the lines on my lips, but I think that this shade would look so beautiful over the purple lipstick called Beechnut. Here are some swatches of the 5 lip glass shades. This way you can see the applicator and how the formula performs live. Plus, this gives you an up close and personal look at the shades and also how they look next to each other. Lastly, we have 4 single eyeshadows, 2 of which are Frost Finish and 2 of which are Velux Pearl Finish. They're all priced at $17 each, and I did use all of them in my eye look today, so I'll show you a quick tutorial with these in just a moment. First, let me walk you through the shades. We have a bright white frosty shade called Dust Off. And Dust Off is a frost finish. Then a Velux Pearl shade called Sun Speck. This one is a shimmery Pinky Tan. The other Volux Pearl shade is called Sun Tan Repeat. This shade is really cool. It matches the packaging, so it has that shifty blue, brown, purple iridescent tone to it. And the last shade is another Frost. This one's called Slow As You Glow, and it's a shimmery purple. Now I'm gonna jump into a quick eyeshadow tutorial using all 4 of these shades, and then I'll wrap up all my thoughts on this collection at the end. First, I'm gonna prep my lids using my MAC paint pot in the shade Painterly, and I'm gonna add in just a little bit of this shade Golden Rinse to start working on a transition shade, but overall it's gonna be very shimmery. I'm gonna go back over where I put Golden Rinse using this shade called Sunspeck. Then for my all over lid color, I'm gonna take a little bit of Sun Tan Repeat on my finger, and I'm just gonna pack that all over my eyelid. To add a little bit of depth to the outer corner, I'm using Slow As You Glow on a fluffy detail brush and just building that up right in the outer part of the lid. Then for my lower lash line, I'm using a mixture of Golden Rinse and Sunspeck on a flat brush. And my favorite part, it's the inner corner highlight. I used Dust Off on my pinky finger, and I also worked that up onto the lid. This was super bright. I love it. Then to finish off my eye look, I curled my lashes and added a little bit of my Physicians Formula Killer Curves mascara. I absolutely love how my look with the Mirage Noir collection turned out. The whole vibe of this collection is like a summer night out. It's sort of easy breezy, but also glam at the same time. This is exactly the kind of look that I would wear for a night out in the summer, beach vacay, date night sort of look, with a really fresh, low-key face, very skin-focused, glowy, and then playing up the eyes more. I love that there's a lot of shimmer, particularly in the eyeshadows. Even though this is more deep tones on the eyes, it's not super smoky, vampy, blown out. It still manages to be low-key while making the eyes the focus. I do like the packaging. It's not like the most knockout MAC limited edition packaging that they've ever done, but I think it's pretty. It definitely fits with the whole theme, and I love that there's a matching eyeshadow that really echoes back to this packaging. I do wish we were getting some sort of glitter or something going on with the packaging, but overall, I like it. I don't love it, but I definitely don't hate it. I think I have a nail polish that's this color. I wish I was wearing it in this video right now. The only thing I would change is I wish that they had brought out a couple shades of the Extra Dimension blush as a part of the Mirage Noir collection. I am a huge fan of the Extra Dimension powders. I really like the bronzers, and I just wish that there was a couple shades of the Extra Dimension blush to go along with these pieces. Imagine if they did Extra Dimension blushes with these 2 pinky purpley tones, this pale lilac and then this deeper ultraviolet. I would have loved to see that. I would have just eaten that right up. That's really the only thing I would change about this collection. As far as my favorites go, this Pearl Matte Face Powder is definitely the superstar for me. It's so beautiful. I can't wait to take 1,000,001 Instagram pictures of it. I get that this might not be for everybody, but I love her. I'm glad I have her. I definitely recommend her. For lip products, of course, if you don't already have Twig, I can't recommend that enough. I love that shade. It's so beautiful. It's so easy. It looks good with everything. But if you already have Twig from the permanent line, obviously you don't really need to repurchase that shade. My other favorite is the one I've been wearing throughout the talking portions of this video. It's this pale pinky nude cream sheen finish called Nothing to Wear. I totally see this going in my purse and being an everyday go-to type of shade. Call me basic, I don't care. I really like this one. I also love this bronzy metallic lip gloss. This one's called Strip and Dip. This is so pretty. It makes my lips look so wet and juicy. It's giving me serious summer feels. I imagine this will look even better when I have a little bit of a tan. I also think that this lip gloss shade would look so good on everybody, so this is one of my top recommendations. My last favorite is this eyeshadow called Sun Tan Repeat. I think this looks so cool on my eyes. It was so easy. Was a little bit intimidated because I thought it was gonna be too dark and it was just gonna go crazy, and I ended up loving the way it went on. I bet it would be really, really beautiful as an eyeshadow topper as well, applied more lightly with a brush over another shade or a cream shadow. Whew. I'm getting excited just thinking about it. So those are all of my favorites. I'd love to hear what you're interested in. If you've picked anything up from the collection, make sure you let us know how you like it. And as always, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in my next video. Bye. Obviously. Kind of zoned out there for a minute. Happens. Strip and dip. That could mean a lot of things, but is it bad that the first thing I think of is like chicken strips and some delicious dipping sauce? Oh, oh man. Oh man. Huh? What are you talking about? Maybe I should rearrange the way I said that so that it makes more sense. How hard is that to say? You say it 1,000,000 times a week. Doing great. You're doing great. It's fine. What are you even talking about? I'm gonna lose my voice. Plus it's hot and muggy and raining and just gross. I don't like it. I don't like it one bit.